This video is brought to you by the generous donations from viewers like you. During the month of April in 2015, my family and I took a trip to the Lizzie Borden House, which is currently located at 230 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts. Although the address for this historical home is actually 92 2nd Street. This historical home is the residence of Lizzie Borden, who is infamous for her arrest and trial in 1892 for the axe murders of her father and stepmother, though she was acquitted in 1893. Lizzie Borden was born on July 19, 1860 in Fall River, Massachusetts, to Sarah and Andrew Borden, but soon after her birth, Sarah, her mother, died. Her father, Andrew, remarried 3 years later to Abby Durfee Gray. Now, Lizzie had an older sister, Emma, and they both lived with their father and stepmother well into their adulthood. They are what we might consider spinsters. Now, the family was financially very wealthy, as Andrew was successful in manufacturing and real estate development. Now, Emma was very protective of her younger sister, Lizzie. The two of them had a very close relationship with each other, but they were very distant with their stepmother, Abby. They actually referred to her as Mrs. Borden, but they were overly concerned that Abby just wanted their father's fortune. The girls helped manage the real estate properties owned by their father. It was on the morning of August 4th in 1892 that Andrew and Abby Borden were found brutally murdered in their home on 2nd Street. Lizzie was the one who found her father's body and quickly alerted the maid Bridget. He had been killed while he was napping on the sofa. He had come home for lunch as he normally did, although he had come home a little earlier that day and had taken a nap on the sofa, which is where his body was found. Now, the body of Abby Borden was discovered in an upstairs bedroom. Now, police were called to the scene and they immediately suspected Lizzie, although she was not taken into custody at that time. Emma was out of town and was never a suspect in the murder investigation. Lizzie was indicted on December 2nd, 1892. Her widely publicized trial began the following June in the city of New Bedford. Borden did not take the stand in her own defense. Her testimony was never admitted into evidence, and the testimony provided by others were really inconclusive. So it was on June 20th in 1893 that she was acquitted of the murders. No one else was ever charged with the crimes, and it has been unsolved. After the trial, Lizzie and Emma moved out of the house on 2nd Street and into a larger modern house in the neighborhood called The Hill, and the name of that home was Maplecroft. The sisters employed a staff to run that house, and Lizzie began using the name Lizbeth. In 1905, Emma Borden abruptly moved out of Maplecroft after an argument with her sister, and the two never spoke again. Lizzie, or Lizbeth Borden, died of pneumonia in Fall River, Massachusetts on June 1st, 1927. Emma Borden died 9 days later in Newmarket, New Hampshire. The sisters, neither of whom ever married, are buried side by side in the family plot in Fall River in Oak Grove Cemetery. Now, the Lizzie Borden House is a museum as well as a bed and breakfast. You can rent rooms, any of the bedrooms, Lizzie's room, Emma's room, Andrew's room, Abby's room. They also have Bridget's room. They have some other rooms on the third floor. You can rent the entire house if you'd like. But if you are staying there as a bed and breakfast, because there are tours that start at 11 and end at 4 p.m., you need to be able to be up so that they can access the room and go through and show the house. For tours, you don't need to make a reservation. You just have to show up and you pay them, and tours, I believe, are on the hour, every hour, and the tour is about a half an hour long. It's really interesting. If you're in the area, I really encourage you to check it out, especially if you're interested in historical places and if the whole trial of Lizzie Borden is interesting to you, because the tour guides have a lot of information. You can tell that they're very well educated on the whole case and the history. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with others on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This way you won't miss any of my newly uploaded videos. And be sure you've connected with me on Facebook, either through my CricketSong fan page, Lunar Wisdom business page, or by joining the Sacred Circle.